Okay, let's go over how to find the slope when the slope-intercept equation is not in the form of y equals. If y is not by itself, we need to get it by itself. The first thing we're going to do is get rid of our x term. Because this is a positive 1x, to cancel it out, I'm going to subtract 1x here, cancels out, and what you do on one side of the equal sign, you have to do on the other. So I'm going to subtract 1x there. Okay? Then you, hold on. Alright, then you bring down what you have left, and I have this positive 6y equals negative 12 minus 1x. And the reason why I write this out is because 12 and negative 1x are not like terms, so I can't combine them. The next thing you do, this 6 is being multiplied by this y, and I want to get the y by itself. So to undo multiplication, I need to divide. So I'm going to divide by 6 here, and I need to divide every term by 6. So what you're going to have left is y. Why does this keep happening? I'm sorry. You are going to have y equals, and then I need to simplify, negative 12 over 6, which is negative 2. And then I have negative 1 over 6. That doesn't reduce, so it stays negative 1 over 6. X. Don't forget your x. So my slope is going to be this negative 1 over 6, and my y-intercept is going to be negative 2. Okay? If you look at your worksheet, this problem is very similar to number 1. And if you watch these steps, it'll help you do number 1. Let's look at the next problem. So this problem right here is similar to number 2 on your worksheet. If you follow these steps, it's the same steps to help you on your worksheet. Okay? Again, y is not by itself, so I can't automatically tell what my slope is. I need to get y in the form of y equals. The first thing I need to do is get rid of this plus x, which is the same thing as plus 1x, but to cancel out addition, I'm going to subtract x, and it cancels out. What I do on one side, I have to do on the other, so I'm going to subtract x over here. And then what I have left is y equals negative 20 minus x. Because y is now by itself. I don't have to do anything else. So my slope would be my negative 1, because we can assume there's a 1 right here. And my y-intercept would be negative 20. Okay. The next example is similar to number 3. Again, y is not by itself. I do need to get y by itself, so that means I need to cancel out this 6x. This is a positive 6x. To cancel out a positive number, I need to subtract. So I'm going to subtract 6x here, have that cancel out, subtract 6x here. Then I'm left with y equals 13 minus 6x. My slope is always attached to my x, and that's negative 6. Whoops. And my y-intercept is 13. And again, that was similar to number 3. This next example will help you do number 4 on your worksheet. Okay. Y is not by itself. I need to get it by itself, which means I need to get rid of this negative 7x or this minus 7x. The opposite of a negative number is a positive number. Okay. The opposite of subtraction is addition, so I need to add 7x. That cancels out, and I need to add 7x over here. So then I'm left with y equals 1 plus 7x. My slope is 7. My y-intercept is 1. All right. This problem will help you do number 5 on your worksheet. Y is not by itself, so the first thing I need to get rid of is this negative 5x. The opposite of negative is positive, or the opposite of subtracting is adding, so I'm going to add 5x, and that cancels out. what I do on one side, I have to do on the other. So I'm going to add 5x over here. Okay. Then I'm left with 7y, I need to bring it down, equals 35 plus 5x. Y is not by itself yet. This 7 is attached. And this operation happening right here is multiplication. To undo multiplication, I need to divide. So I'm now going to divide by 7 to get y by itself. And then I need to divide each term by 7. Okay? Then I'm left with y equals. To simplify this fraction, we go to our calculator and we can do alpha. Y equals enter. And type in 35 over 7. And you should get 5. Okay? And then if you wanted to see if this positive 5 over 7 reduced, you would type in alpha y equals enter. It does not reduce. It actually stays as positive 5 over 7. And I got to bring down my x. So my slope would be 5 over 7. And my y-intercept would be 5. Sorry. Okay. The next problem that we're going to look at, if you flip your sheet over and look at number 7, this will help you do number 7. They're very similar. Okay. Y is not by itself. I have this positive 6x right here. So to cancel out a positive 6x, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to subtract 6x here. What I do on one side, I have to do on the other. So I'm going to subtract 6x there. Then I need to bring down what's left. Don't forget this minus sign right here. So you need to make sure you bring that down too. Negative 3y equals 10 minus 6x. This negative 3 is attached to this y by multiplication. So to undo multiplication, I need to divide. I'm going to divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. That cancels out. I am then left with y equals 10 over negative 3. If I do alpha y equals enter my calculator, I get negative 10 over 3. And this negative 6 over negative 3, if I type that in my calculator doing alpha y equals enter, I will get positive 2. And I got to bring down my x. Okay. So my slope would be this positive 2. And my y-intercept would be negative 10 over 3. All right, the last problem we're going to look at is similar to problem number 10 on your worksheet. Y is not by itself. I'm going to get rid of this positive 10x by subtracting 10x. What I do on one side, I have to do on the other. Okay, this cancels out. Well, I am then left with this negative 2y, so I need to bring down this negative 2y equals 9 minus 10x. Okay. This negative 2 is being attached to this y by multiplication, so to undo multiplication, I need to divide. I'm going to divide this by negative 2 and cancel that out, this by negative 2, and this by negative 2. Don't forget to divide each term. Okay, I can't just divide 9 by negative 2. I need to do the 9 and this negative 10. You are then left with y equals 9 over negative 2. If you type it in your calculator, alpha y equals enter, you are going to get negative 9 over 2. And then if I type in this negative 10 over negative 2, I will get a positive 5. And I got to bring down my x. So my slope is this positive 5. My computer doesn't want to work. Positive 5. And this would be my y-intercept. Okay, and that's it.